Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the College Hub. Today we're going to be talking about studying in Australia with Pranav Runwal.
Hi guys.
So Pranav is a student from India who's going to be starting his undergraduate education in Australia this January, and he's going to be talking about his experience applying for scholarships and to colleges in Australia.
Basically, I'll be sharing some information about the whole admission procedure with you guys, and I hope you guys find it helpful and it answers not all but most of your queries.
So my first question for you today is, have you always thought about studying abroad? And if yes, when did you decide that you wanted to study abroad?
So it was actually it was pre-decided in my 10th grade actually. I think a lot before that I was planning on going outside after India. The country wasn't decided, but after thorough research and thorough homework about all the universities in my course, it was pretty obvious for me to take up Monash University in Australia.
Okay, so you picked Monash because why did you pick Monash? What was the main reason?
So basically, I'm doing a course called Pharmaceutical Sciences. And basically, Monash is ranked the #1 university for that course. And also considering other factors like the campus, the faculty, the alumni, I think Monash was the right choice, which would help me kickstart my career in whatever field I choose to do after I finish my undergrad.
So the main factor that decided Monash for you was that they were the best at the program that you wanted to study.
Yeah. In addition to that, so basically it's a 4-year course, and 3 years will be classroom and indoor. But with the 4th year, it's called an industrial year. So in the 4th year, we get industrial exposure. That is, we're actually put into the field, and we ourselves get to experience, and we ourselves get tested against all the knowledge that we've learned in the past 3 years.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense because you get real life exposure as well
Exactly.
as you get classrooms. What attracted you towards studying in the Australia? Like, I'm pretty sure you must have looked at a few different countries,
Yeah.
and if you did, which ones did you look at?
So basically there were 3 choices. It was either UK, Singapore or Australia. So it actually came down to UK and Australia because as far as I know, in Singapore you aren't allowed to work. Like the first year and the undergrad students are allowed to work. But whereas in UK and Australia you get 20 hours a week to work. So it's like you work, also you get like a supplement income which helps you. And also the course, the people and the kind of exposure I would get in Australia was more relatable and more relevant to the career I'm pursuing after my further studies. So
Okay.
Australia was a clear choice for me.
So basically, it was the work experience that you could get during your undergraduate
Right.
studies, and the fact that it's like one of the best in the world for that field, for
Yeah.
pharmaceutical studies. So that's why you picked Australia. Can you tell us about the application process that you went through to study in Australia? Like, what were the different forms that you had to fill out and the tests that you had to submit, etc.? So can you explain that?
So Monash University also had a really long form with a lot of details. It was basically a long form with a lot of questions questioning my personality, my co-curricular, my extracurricular, and my academics as well. So basically, it starts with your 10th grade mark sheet. So how I went through it was in 11th, I think the end of 11th grade, I submitted for a conditional application. So as part of the conditional application form, I filled out the university form. Like you should pay actual attention to how you feel, because once the form is submitted, you cannot redo it. So first you submit your 10th grade mark sheet, you submit a pair of recommendation letters from your teachers, and then you send it across to the university. So after a month or maybe 3 or 4 weeks, they respond back. So basically what I got was a conditional offer, and what my offer was to secure at least 81% in my 12th grade to secure admission. So that is done. After I finished my 12th, I had to send them my 12th mark sheet to them for cross reference, and after that was done, they rechecked and I got admission. And also another thing which they ask for is called a statement of purpose. So a statement of purpose is like a kind of a short essay, like a 500-word essay, in which you need to write the reason and the purpose behind coming to the university and how you will be an asset to the university.
Okay, so basically there's a long process that you have to go through. It takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
It includes letters of recommendation, writing essays, and you're of course having good grades.
Yeah.
And were there any tests that you had to do apart from
so
that?
basically for UK and Australia, there's a entrance test for students coming from outside the country. So it's basic for English proficiency. So it's IELTS. IELTS is a basic, not basic, but it's an English test which consists of reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So all of this is divided over 2 days, and it is scored out of 9 bands. So overall, to get admission into university, you at least need 6 bands out of 9 to secure admission.
And how much did you?
I got 7.5.
You got 7.5. And how did you study? How did you go about studying for the
So
IELTS?
basically, when you fill the form out for IELTS, it's I think 11,000 for the fees. And once you fill the form, once the payment is done, after 10 days or so, you get a booklet from the British Council, because they are the one who's conducting this exam. So in that booklet, you have sample questions, questions from last exam. Basically, doing that book thoroughly, and some other course material such as Cambridge and all that. Like, you have proper IELTS books. So referring to that, over 2 months I studied, and basically, yeah. So I gave my exam, and about 2 months later the result was out.
And you said the exam costs around 11,000
11,000
rupees, which is around $180.
Yeah,
$180. So the cost of attending a university abroad is one of the most important factors that students consider. So around how much do you think it would cost an international student to attend a university in Australia? Like,
so as you rightly said, cost was a priority in deciding my university. So the costs vary according to your course. Like, a course has different alma maters, different study course materials and everything. So for me, the cost was around 250,000 Australian dollars. That is excluding the scholarship. Given the scholarship, the price might reduce down subsequently, because for international students, Monash has around 3 scholarships. So one is a full pay scholarship in which all of your tuition fees get covered. That is inclusive of everything. The other one is called the International Leadership and Merit Scholarship, which is about 50,000 Australian dollars. It might not sound that much, but if you see it as Indian rupees, it's about 27 lakh rupees, which is actually a really substantial amount. So getting that $50,000 as a scholarship is actually like a boon.
so talking about scholarships, did you receive any scholarships to study at Monash?
Yeah, so as of now, I have received an international study grant of $5,000, and post to that, I have applied for the international leadership and merit scholarship. So it rounds about to $50,000, and it is basically out of 31 people out of all the participants. So the process is, you write a scholarship statement which should be under 500 words. So in that you write about your extracurricular activities which have helped you complement your leadership skills, your social skills, and based on that, the university decides whether to give you an scholarship or not.
So according to you, what other steps can students take to improve their chances of getting a scholarship to study in Australia?
So basically, if you decided in 10th grade itself that you want to go out, or like you want to go abroad after 12th grade, so basically for a scholarship, you should start working on your extracurricular activities. So for Monash in particular, I was they asked for my social and leadership skills. So over time, I indulged myself in a lot of leadership based programs or events, and I did a lot more social interactions as well as social cause events, so which helped me gain a lot more certificates, and basically it added a lot more weight to my scholarship statement.
Okay, so basically it complemented your scholarship
Yeah.
statement, and it improved your overall application.
Yeah, in addition to the application, it also helped me improve as a person, because it gives you the confidence of public speaking, it enhances your critical thinking skills, and it helps you overall in life.
As we come to the end of this video, do you have any final advice for students planning on applying to colleges in Australia?
Okay, so one of the most basic advices to give is one of the most basic stuff to get right is your grades. So you should always make sure that your grades are about 4 or 5% more than what the university wants, because in case of competition, you never know, you might get cut off because of the parallel competition from other students, which might be just a little bit over, they might be just a little better than you. So just to avoid that, make sure you get 4 or 5% more than what the university asks for. Also, one important piece of advice is to do your homework. So doing everything on time does not help. It adds a lot more stress, and that basically degrades the quality of your form, which is an integral part of the admission process. So for example, if you decided that you have to go abroad after 12th, so from 11th itself you start doing research on all of the processes on the university, all of the exams you require, and what all like how many credits or what is the minimum amount of score you require to procure admission. So if you start working on it slow, eventually the process gets a lot easier as it is spread over a vast timeline, which gives you ample amount of time to work on each and every detail of it.
So besides that, do you have any other last few words?
Yeah. Also, another important factor is to email the university. So universities are really prompt at replying to your emails. So whichever query you have, you should immediately email it to the university, and the university will surely get back to you. They either schedule a call or they just write an email, but it's really helpful. Also, if you know a senior or a person in that country, so basically I know a friend in Australia, so basically talking to him, getting the on-ground information has really helped me out and solved most of my queries. Another advice I would like to give is to look for accommodation. The thing is that there are very few less good accommodation places nearby the university. So if your decision has been done, if you're pretty sure that you'll be going to Monash in Feb, so it is really precautious and better if you do the booking for accommodations prior, like at least 8 months prior, because they get sold out pretty quickly, and getting an accommodation really close to the university is really important, because over the 4 years you'll be traveling you'll be going to the university every day, and going and traveling 1 hour towards the university wastes a lot of time, and after a point of time you get tired of it.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I have a few friends who live really far away from the university, and yeah, Karthik, I'm talking about you. Yeah, so like definitely try to pick an accommodation that's closer to the university.
Sorry. Should I like say hi? Something like that?
You will be talking about studying in Australia with Pranav Runwal. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this helpful, and thank you for talking to us today, Pranav. And I'm gonna link his email in the description, so that if you have any questions about studying in Australia, you can shoot him an email. And also, you should check out his YouTube channel. It's called Pranav Runwal Vlogs. That's in the description as well. So thank you, and thank you guys for watching. Please
and you
like,
should
comment.
definitely subscribe to College Hub as well.